the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Philippine Navy intercepts 214 million pesos worth of cocaine off Palawan coast. Valencia City achieves insurgency-free status. Buying price of palay slightly increases. FIVOC says Davao Oriental earthquake aftershocks reach over 1,200.
Hello to everyone, especially to our troops at Camp Emilio Ginaldo in Quezon City. Today is Tuesday, October 14, and this is AFP Committee News, your source for the updates on the armed forces and other developments across the country. I am Rofh Suzon-Abay here to bring you today's stories.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For the brief overview of our news, troops from the 701st Infantry Brigade joined the GMA Kapuso Foundation in repacking relief goods for 3,000 families affected by the recent earthquake in Davao Oriental. The activity held at the brigade headquarters in Mati City was led by Colonel Edgar de los Reyes and GMA-KF representatives. The relief packs will be distributed to residents in areas severely affected by the earthquakes and their aftershocks. The effort forms part of the ongoing humanitarian assistance and disaster response operations of the 701st Infantry Brigade in coordination with government and volunteer partners.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The Philippine Navy recovered 2 sacks of suspected cocaine worth 214 million pesos during a maritime patrol southeast of Piedras Point, Puerto Princesa, Palawan. The contraband retrieved by BRP Ladislao Diwa was confirmed to have fallen from a local fishing boat. The seized drugs were turned over to the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency for testing and proper disposition. The recovery occurred during the Navy's routine patrol operations aimed at strengthening maritime security and preventing illegal activities in the West Philippine Sea.
Armed Forces Radio.
From our report of the ground, let's hear the report of Mike about MSU Maguindanao honors 6th FAB for outstanding support on 52nd founding anniversary.
The 6th Field Artillery Battalion received an award during the 52nd founding anniversary of Mindanao State University, MSU Mindanao. The recognition highlights the unit's steadfast support and valuable contribution to the university's development and success. The ceremony emphasized 6th FAB role in fostering security, collaboration, and community engagement. Their partnership with MSU Mindanao continues to enhance campus growth, research, and student opportunities. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Mike.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
The local government unit of Valencia City has officially declared the city insurgency-free through Resolution Number 153-2025 during a ceremony held at the City Hall Gymnasium. The declaration followed the city's full compliance with parameters set under Joint Letter Directive Number 3 and the Provincial Joint Peace and Security Coordinating Council. All 31 barangays also passed resolutions declaring the CPP and PANDF as persona non grata, further solidifying the city's unified stand against the insurgency. City Mayor Ami Galario and together with Major General Alan Hambala and other officials led the ceremony and emphasized that the milestone reflects the collective unity and determination of the people of Valencia City to uphold peace and development.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
901st Infantry Brigade successfully dismantled the sub-region de Gravidad Westland, the last remaining Communist Party of the Philippines New People's Army unit operating in northeastern Mindanao. according to 901st Infantry Brigade Acting Commander Colonel Manuel Darius Resuello. The victory follows a series of encounters that neutralized 26 members, including key leaders, and prompted the surrender of others with their firearms. The final 2 members of SRSDG Westland surrendered, marking the group's total collapse. Colonel Resuello reaffirmed the brigade's commitment to sustain operations against the remaining weekend and pay elements, still hiding in the boundaries of Agusan del Sur and Surigao del Sur.
Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from Jimboy. 73rd IB LGU conducts structural safety inspections after Davao earthquake.
The 73rd Infantry Battalion, in coordination with various government agencies, conducted structural inspection of building, facilities, and school in Malita, Davao Occidental, following the series of earthquakes that hit Davao Oriental. The initiative aimed to ensure the safety and integrity of public and private structures and identify potential hazards. The inspection was carried out in partnership with the Malita Local Government Unit, Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Office, Bureau of Fire Protection, and Philippine National Police. This joint effort demonstrates the Philippine Army active role in disaster response and community safety. This is Jimboy reporting for the AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Jimboy.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
Presidential Peace Advisor Carlito Galvez Jr. praised the Armed Forces of the Philippines for the swift arrest of alias Tagal, a Daula Islamia member linked to the brutal beheading of indigenous people's leader Ramon Lupos in Maguindanao del Sur. He lauded the coordinating efforts of the 6th Infantry Division, 601st Infantry Brigade, and 98th Infantry Battalion, whose joint operation led to the suspect's capture. He said the arrest reflects the government's strong resolve to deliver justice and protect the vulnerable sectors and communities from terrorism and violence. Galvez also reaffirmed that safeguarding IP rights and ancestral lands remain central to the government's peace and security agenda.
DWDD National News.
For our national news, farm gate prices of palay have started to rise after diving below 10 pesos per kilo a few weeks back. Palay traders at the Intercity Industrial Estate in Bocaue, Bulacan said the farm gate price of palay in Central Luzon now averages 14 to 15 pesos per kilo for newly harvested crops. But despite the increase, Farmers Group Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura said the prices are still lower compared to the National Food Authority, which buys fresh palay at 17 pesos per kilo. Sinag President Rosendo So said the prices are still not profitable for rice farmers, noting that palay farm gate price should be at least 17 pesos per kilo to allow farmers to earn. He then suggested that the government raise the tariff for rice importation to 35%, as this might pull the farm gate price.
Armed Forces Radio.
From NOLCOM, let's hear some information from Joanne about AFP honors outgoing NOLCOM commander in change of command and retirement rights.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines honored Lieutenant General Fernil G. Buca, Philippine Air Force, during the change of command and retirement ceremony for the Northern Luzon Command held on October 10 in Camp Aquino, Tarlac City. General Romeo S. Browner Jr., Philippine Army, the AFP Chief of Staff, presided over the ceremonies. He presented Lieutenant General Buca with the Philippine Legion of Honor, degree of Commander, for his exemplary leadership and dedicated service. Meanwhile, Brigadier General Cesar A. Molina, Philippine Army, was designated as acting commander of NOLCOM. Under Lieutenant General Buca's leadership, NOLCOM pursued its operational mantra of being jointly engaged, sustainment maintained, and readiness trained, strengthening interoperability and multi-agency collaboration to effectively address threats across all domains. General Browner said that as the first Air Force general to command NOLCOM, he broke tradition and elevated the command With the perspective of a combat pilot and the giant mindset of an aviator, he led with humility, conviction, and unwavering determination, providing that leadership transcends service branch. This is John Silk reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, John, from Nolcom.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. announced that the Office of the President has allocated 158 million pesos financial assistance to local governments affected by the magnitude earthquake that struck Davao Oriental last week. According to Malacanang, 50 million will be given to the province of Davao Oriental, while the towns of Manay, Banay, and Lupon will get 15 million each. During a situation briefing, Marcos said they are giving the fund to the local government because as a former governor, he knows that every area has different needs. The president was in Davao Oriental to visit several municipalities and inspect public establishments that were hit by the strong earthquake. The Department of Social Welfare and Development, on the other hand, provided various forms of assistance, including 10,000 pesos cash to each of the 35 families with totally damaged houses and hot meals through the mobile kitchen program.
DWDD National News.
Acting Philippine National Police Chief Police Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. lauded the policemen who immediately responded and continuously attended to the needs of those affected by earthquakes that jolted Cebu and Davao Oriental. Nartates said that deployment of policemen immediately after the quakes brought assurance to the affected residents that the national government is in control of the situation amid the devastation. He explained that the PNP immediately responded to protect lives, maintain peace and order, and support local disaster response operations. The acting PNP added that the police presence in disaster-hit areas has helped calm public fears and restore order amid the back-to-back tremors in Davao Oriental and Surigao del Sur and the heightened activity of Bulusan and Canlaon volcanoes.
Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let's hear more from Ken about AFP Chief reinforces readiness, inspects engineer brigade and projects in Visayas.
Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief of Staff General Romeo Browner Jr. led the field visit to the 53rd Engineer Brigade in Medellin, Cebu. It aims to emphasize the AFP commitment to operational readiness and infrastructure's capability. Inspected ongoing project under the Tatag Infrastruktura para sa Kapayapaan at Seguridad or TICAS program, which supports facility development for troop preparedness and national security. General Browner was joined by Visayas Field Commander to strengthen unified leadership in regional operation. This is Ken reporting for AFP Community News 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Ken.
DWDD National News.
On the other hand, PHIVOX has recorded a total of 1,203 aftershocks, including 14 that were felt. This comes after the magnitude 7.4 earthquake in Manay, Davao Oriental last October 10. PHIVOX Chief Dr. Teresito Bacalcol advised the affected residents to consult first with experts before returning to their homes for their safety. He also added that if there are visible damage to the structures where they live, the residents should not go inside. Bacalcol cited that they have to consult their municipal or city engineers first because if it wasn't totally damaged during the main shock, it could be totally damaged during a strong aftershock.
DWDD National News.
Government disaster officials acknowledge that while the Philippines has extensive laws on disaster risk reduction and management, enforcement at the local level remains inconsistent. During the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction, officials from the Office of Civil Defense, Bureau of Fire Protection, and Arise Philippines emphasized the need for strict compliance with building codes and preparedness policies. OCD Assistant Secretary Cesar Idio said despite these policies, building code, fire code, and zoning ordinances, there are still structures built in danger zones or not up to safety standards. He added that it's just a matter of political will to implement existing policies.
Armed Forces Radio.
And from Congress, let us hear from Terrence about scrapping of unprogrammed funds from 2026 gap sought in Congress.
Representative Robert Nasalo BS party list has urged Congress to scrap unprogrammed funds from this 2026 national budget, warning that they have become a backdoor for discretionary spending that undermines fiscal discipline and transparency. Nasal, who serves as House Assistant Minority Leader, questioned the need for such funds, saying they give too much flexibility to the executive branch. He warned that special provisions allowing the Department of Budget and Management, or the DBM, to shift funds among purposes violate the spirit of line item budgeting and turn these allocations into lump sum. He added that ending unprogrammed funds will restore public trust and safeguard taxpayers' money. This is Terence Mordeno Grano reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Terrence from Congress.
DWDD National News.
For other national news, the Independent Commission for Infrastructure is targeting to file 15 to 20 cases against several individuals involved in the alleged anomalous flood control projects. ICI Special Advisor Rodolfo Azurin Jr. said they will be conducting a technical evaluation against 421 suspected ghost flood control projects initially identified by the Department of Public Works and Highways. After the process, the ICI will conduct a case build-up and refer the cases to the Ombudsman for the filing of appropriate charges. Azurin said their target is to file at least 15 3 to 4 weeks from now. He is also hoping that everyone will cooperate so the ICI can hit their target timeline.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. remains open to all good suggestions that aim to recover the stolen public funds from the failed and non-existent flood control projects. Palace Press Officer and Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro said this when asked whether or not Marcos would favor granting shorter imprisonment for those who will be proven responsible in the massive flood control corruption if they would be able to return the stolen public funds. Castro also said that the president has the authority to grant executive clemency or conditional pardon. She added that these require that certain conditions be fulfilled.
Armed Forces Radio.
And some information from Marian about PBBM visits quake-hit Davao region assures continued government aid.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, personally visited the areas affected by the 7.4 magnitude earthquake in the Davao region yesterday. He inspected the damage in Manay Provincial District Hospital and Manay National High School, as well as the evacuation center in Tarragona. The President also visited the tent city in Tarragona municipal grounds where displaced residents are temporarily sheltered. During his dialogue with the victims, President Marcos assured continued government support and emphasized that assistance efforts will persist until all affected families return to normalcy. This is Marian reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Marian.
DWDD National News.
The 105 million pesos worth of alleged ghost farm-to-market road projects will be investigated by the Department of Agriculture and the Department of Public Works and Highways. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro said that President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. already received the report submitted by the DA on the matter, adding that the President already talked to DPWH Secretary Vince Dizon and DA Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel about the matter, and they will investigate these projects. Asked if the President has further instructions, Castro said Marcos's directives on ensuring that there is enough evidence on accusations still stand.
DWDD National News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is eyeing someone who has integrity and who is fair as the next Secretary of Justice. Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro said there is no information yet as to the replacement of former Justice Secretary Jesus Crispin Remulla, who took his oath last week as the Ombudsman. Asked what are the considerations of the President in choosing the next Chief of the Department of Justice, Castro said Marcos wants someone who has integrity, dependable, impartial, and fair. Justice Undersecretary Frederick Vida was earlier said to be the acting chief of the DOJ following Remulla's appointment to the Ombudsman post.
Armed Forces Radio.
Let us hear more from Maljoy of First Year G about 95th IB aims to declare Isabela Province as insurgency-free by the end of 2025.
Yes, Rofh, the 95th Infantry Battalion, 5th Infantry Division Philippine Army aims to declare the province of Isabela as insurgency-free before the end of the year. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson Bulusan, the commanding officer of the 95th Infantry Battalion, 5th Infantry Division Philippine Army, shared that their battalion soldiers continue to take steps to end the insurgency and maintain peace and order in the area. The commanding officer also urged those who want to surrender or return to the folds of the law to approach the armed forces of the Philippines, the police, and the government offices that will assist them as they begin their new lives. It can be recalled that the battalion's recent accomplishment was the discovery of weapons and equipment of the allegedly members of the New People's Army and their former stronghold at Barangay Nadungan, Gataran, Cagayan and Barangay Kapirit, Divilacan, Isabela. The 5th Infantry Division, in partnership with various agencies and community residents, will continue to work hand-in-hand to achieve the desired insurgency-free Isabela by the end of 2025. This is Maljoy Nesho Oroco reporting for AFP Community News. One AFP for stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Maljoy of First CRG.
Armed Forces Radio.
And let us hear more updates from Leonor about 6.5 completes final HPV vaccination for female personnel and dependents.
Female personnel and dependents of the 6th Field Artillery Battalion received their third and final dose of the HPV vaccine, protecting them against cervical cancer. The vaccination, conducted with support from the Cotabato City Health Office, was efficiently organized to ensure smooth and safe administration. The said health office led activity guiding recipients and promoting awareness on HPV prevention. The 6th WAB reaffirmed its commitment to the health and well-being of its troops and their families through proactive medical programs. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for FP Community News, 1FP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you so much, Leonor.
DWDD National News.
The bill providing free funeral services to indigent Filipino families has officially lapsed into law without the signature of President Marcos, according to Communications Undersecretary Claire Castro. Under RA 12309 or the Free Funeral Services Act, the government will provide free funeral services to families considered in crisis situations. This includes indigent households and those affected by disasters or emergencies, as determined by the Department of Social Welfare and Development. The funeral package covers the preparation of documents, embalming, burial, transport, cremation, and interment, including the provision of a casket or urn. To avail of the free funeral package, the bereaved family must present a valid ID, a death certificate, and a funeral contract signed by the family representative, the funeral establishment, and an authorized DSWD personnel.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
As that concludes today's broadcast, and thank you for tuning in, especially to our audience on AFP Radio, DWDD's Facebook page. Be sure to join and catch us again tomorrow for more stories and updates, same time and same station. Once again, this is Rofh Suzon-Abay for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rofh Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.